Hey friends, it's Christian. Welcome to part 2 of our superhero-inspired series about the marvelous story of the Bible. Last time, we learned that, like superheroes, we all have an origin story that shapes who we are. We talked some about our unique individual stories, and we dove into the story at the beginning of the Bible, a story that beautifully points to the truth in all of our hearts, that we are made with potential to do so much good in the world. But that potential is corrupted by this conflicting desire to mess things up, a tendency to do bad. Every human shares this story. Everyone has a mix of good and bad desires, motives, and intentions. That's our origin story. And like Batman, witnessing his parents' death, or Superman escaping his home planet before it's destroyed, our origin story shapes us. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have the final word to define us. What if there was a way to fight back against all that's bad in the world? When we think about the ways that the corrupt part of the human heart shows up in the world, it's not hard to make a list of the results. Bullying, lying, cheating, or on the more extreme side, school shootings, war, corruption and greed, slavery and human trafficking, and on and on. It's overwhelming. And if this world is anything like a superhero movie, we might be wondering, where is the hero? Why hasn't the hero shown up yet? We need a hero to come turn this thing around. We want a hero that fights the bad guys and gives them what's coming. We want a hero like Thor when he shows up in Wakanda during Infinity War. It looks like the good guys are doomed, and then Thor drops in from the sky, wielding his hammer with the power of lightning. He's got Groot and Rocket with him, and honestly, they're some of the best characters in the whole series. And then it cuts to Hulk, or Bruce Banner, I guess, and everyone knows the bad guys don't stand a chance. And Thor's like, bring me Thanos. And he charges into battle, and it's super epic. With all the bad things happening in the world, we might expect a hero to enter the story the way Thor enters that battle. And that's basically how people in the Bible expected the hero to enter their story. But that's not what happened at all. Remember, our origin story tells us that every human is a mix of good and bad. And we see that play out in the Old Testament through the story of God's chosen people. They are supposed to be a community that loves everyone the way that God does, but just like the first humans, they can't do it. They are selfish, they start wars, their kings are evil, and it's all a mess. But in the middle of the mess, God sends a hero. The word in the Bible for this hero, the savior of the story, is Messiah or Christ. And when God's people heard these words, most of them imagined someone like Thor, a super powerful hero who would come and settle the score. But when Jesus, the Messiah, the Christ, comes, he's not the hero they were anticipating. He's an unexpected hero. One way Jesus is an unexpected hero is that he's born as a baby. God doesn't fall out of the sky wielding the power of lightning and pummeling bad guys. He's born the same way all of us are born, completely helpless. He relied on his young mom for everything, to feed him, clothe him, change his diapers. That's really unexpected for a divine superhero. Another way that Jesus is unexpected is in the way he interacts with others. Some heroes seek power and fame. They build big towers, and people celebrate and almost worship them. They're like on a quest for the top. But Jesus is humble. He's on a quest to the bottom. He's a hero that serves others by healing them, feeding them, forgiving them, and even washing people's feet. Gross. God's quest was to give and give and give selflessly and abundantly, no matter what people thought. The most unexpected thing Jesus did was that he gave up his very life. The way he lived, teaching about love and serving others, caused some people to follow him, but then the people in power didn't really like it. So the religious people in charge teamed up with the political people in charge, and they devised a plan to stop his movement, which was flipping the world they knew on its head. They plotted to kill him. They nailed him to a cross, put a crown of thorns on his head, and they mocked him. And as they did that, Jesus died. That's not what people expect a hero to do. But that's also not the end of the story. In giving up his life, Jesus took all the evil in the hearts of humans to the grave with him. Instead of defeating the bad guys, he defeated evil itself. It would be like, instead of the Fantastic Four beating Galactus, the world destroyer, they fought against his appetite to devour planets in the first place. And since we all have some amount of this evil in our hearts and this separation from God because of sin, Jesus' death has the power to heal us by destroying sin and restoring our relationship with God. This is good news, but it gets even better because the hero doesn't stay dead. Jesus comes back, and his friends and followers who felt like they had lost all hope see him and touch him, and they realize that he is just the hero they needed all along. They expected someone who would beat the bad guys, but what they got was a hero who could relate, rewire, restore, and redeem. In his unexpected birth, Jesus shows us that God can relate to every part of being human. In his unexpected life, Jesus teaches us how to rewire our hearts and minds to love and serve others the way he did. In his unexpected death, Jesus restores our hearts to the goodness they were made for, defeating what's corrupted within us. And in his unexpected resurrection, Jesus redeems us. He offers the gift of new life and an invitation to join in his mission of making all things new. This is the story we are invited to. No matter what you believe about God or how far you feel from him right now, he loves you and wants you to be a part of this family, of this story, so that you can live more like Jesus, our unexpected hero.